Hi, this video is on some of the paperwork that goes with the British Seagull outboard. I've only probably got a fraction of it here. It's just to kind of show you the benefit of having some of this stuff around. You know, if you have got a Seagull or two there and you're wondering about how to take it apart or put it back together, or you have an issue with something, or how to generally run it, or how to even start it up, simple things like that. I'll just go through some of it there now. There's the two spares books. There's probably another one or two of those out there as well. The green one, and there's a kind of an orangey mustard coloured one here. It just gives you the list of parts and part numbers that are with it, and the actual assembly of them themselves. There's the Mark 1 silver flywheel, Villiers ignition, and it'll give you the ignition part numbers and what they're actually called and things like that. And there's the Villiers carb. This is actually this book here is actually older than the green one. The later models is the mustard coloured one here. And how I'd know that is because the note at the bottom is on the older ones, and on the ones in the green book is actually just a screw-on plastic one, similar to this one here. That's just you screw the whole unit up onto the bottom of it, whereas the later ones have the note at the bottom. I'll try not to waffle on all day about each individual thing, but that's just generally it about the spares. It's actually very good if you want to find out how to actually assemble something. There's a split of a gearbox there. It's the Century Plus transmission. You can see it in a lot of detail, and the other ones there look 40 featherweight. That's the older book, and I'll give you a quick look through the new type one. This is the one I use most of the time because I have a lot of the newer stuff. You have the Bing carb, which is the one that runs automatically on 25:1. That's the screw-on Villiers one with the bottom float ball there on the bottom, and I have my needles written down here for each one, what each needle means. And you have the Y-Pack ignition system here, the Villiers there again, just a few other bits and pieces. Look at the transom clamp there, more gearbox stuff, and the actual assembly of them, and each part number is there as well and what they're called. Those are very, very handy. I like to go back to those whenever I run into a bit of trouble. What else have we got there? There's like an old envelope or something there. There's almost memorabilia there now for some of this stuff. I'd say what was inside in it, operating instructions, etc. There's probably a handbook and operating instructions and leaflets or something maybe in that. That's the British Seagull handbook. This is very good for people getting started off with seagulls. It'll give you a good idea, like things like don't use grease in the gearbox, use your oil in the proper oil, always use the right spark plug, all these kind of simple things. But it's people starting off, it'd be very good for them to have a good look at this, you know. Just have a look through it. Propeller string drive, engine mounting, how to correctly mount it, starting and running the motor from cold and from warm, and all the directions, how to use the fitted clutch, or clutch if fitted should I say, spark plugs, ignition, the right type of spark plug, all that kind of stuff. Water pump cooling, the laying up drill if she's been laid up for a while, if it gets some wars there as well. General observations, and a few tips and hints there at the end, where the engine number is located, and if you need to get the outboard out of the water a little bit better, you could actually tie a bit of rope around your flywheel and pull it down and tie it back inside the boat, just to get her up that little bit out of the water if she is sitting low. That's the Seagull handbook, which is quite similar to the operating instructions. Now the operating instructions does go into it in depth on correct operation you know, it's well worth reading. Gone through the whole book there, and there's actually a couple of bits I picked out that I would have never have taught myself that has to be done. Starting the motor, like just all basic stuff, but they've gone into quite depth with it. Starting from cold there again, correct spark gap. You know, well worth getting your hands on if you can get some of these things. I've come across these lately. It's like there's like these sheets made out. You can see here number 3. It's actually a photocopy, I'd say. Number 9, as you can see, these are quite old but very informative at the same time. Number 7. I've only got a couple of these. The rest of them are probably out there. They're out there somewhere just to get my hands on them. This one is, what is it? Villiers Centric Flow Chamber carburetor top feed. That's just the angle setting for your throttle control lever here. That sits here, and it must be a maximum of 2.5 inches from your stud that holds your tiller handle. That's the way they run them on the Villiers. As you can see, that's the square block. That was on the, by the looks of it, it was on a 40 plus or a Century or something like that. Just a bit of an assembly there on how to adjust the needle if you want to adjust it. If you want to weaken it or strengthen it, I actually have a video on this Villiers carb as well. 1 to 2 complete turns, but no more, as a weak mixture is bad for the motor. There's a split again of the Villiers carb. How it's split. Just some very good stuff to see. This is the water pump cooling system, and cooling system with square head models. Just shows how far it needs to be in the water. And there's the back. I actually had this sheet on one of my videos lately just to show where the pump rotor is here. So you'd have your little gearbox then here, and the water comes in these little water inlets here up through this passage. Drive shaft then is spinning around inside here and is whipping around this pump motor, drives the water across here, up your pipe, then up, and the pipe is actually installed inside in your exhaust cavity, going straight up into your block and out the bottom of the block as well. And it just shows here that the rotor is marked top, and how to split your seagull leg from your power head. There's another one of them there. This one is a photocopy. Piston removal and replacement. Very good information there as well. You can see just the split again there, and how to remove it. They have a piston ring retaining clamp as well there. I don't use it myself, but look, we could be doing all these things, I suppose. This is just an old seagull flyer from somewhere. Sheridan Marine, I think. I picked that up at one of my seagulls lately that I got. A man had given me all this kind of stuff with it. I got a couple of other sheets with it. That's more or less it. Definitely worth trying to get your hands on some of this stuff. As I said, the spares one is the earlier stuff. It's probably like 70s on, mid-70s onwards. I'm not quite sure exactly. And that's some of the earlier stuff in the orange, mostly coloured one here. Definitely, if you're starting off, try and get a hold of those operating instructions and or the Seagull handbook as well. But definitely worth trying to get your hands on, and you could even start collecting some of this stuff. The more you have, the better. So that's it. I'll have a couple of other videos coming up soon. I just put up a video there of the drill trick on the flywheel, trying to get that spark going again. I'll probably have something coming up again soon, maybe on cup washers and mounting brackets as well. I think I might do one on that. I might do one on these little plugs here as well, and how to repair the cork if I get around to it. Quite busy at the moment, but that's it. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.